Hi everybody, so I feel like I make one of these videos every couple of years when a great game comes out that I haven't really played that much of. And of course, for this time, it's Warzone Verdansk, but I digressed. This video is about the content creator's dilemma, or at least one of them. So if you're thinking about making videos for YouTube or streaming on YouTube or Twitch, this is something you'll come across. Or if you're going through this already, it's a perfectly natural thing to happen and frustrations to have. And maybe one of the ways that you can deal with it, the way that I deal with it anyway, is you kind of set yourself limits and you keep your eye on that long-term goal that you have. Maybe it's to do YouTube or Twitch full-time, or to get to 100,000 subscribers, or whatever it may be. That helps you through this dilemma. And the dilemma is that you don't get to play the games you want to for as long as you want, and some games even you have to stop playing altogether. So Warzone, the new version of Warzone, if you don't know already, what they've done is they've been very clever, Activision, and they've taken it back to the original map, but they've also taken it back to the original gameplay, which is a much more slow, considered survival version of a battle royale, almost like PUBG. And it's very casual friendly. You can have a lot more fun in this. There's a lot more downtime. There's a lot more running around and looting and doing that sort of stuff. And you still have the gunfights, obviously, but you don't have the situation of it just being a frenzy all the time like it turned into, where people going up and redeploying across the map in a parachute, and no matter where you were, there would be someone with a heartbeat sensor or a UAV coming to kill you. I mean, you still have some of that, but not as much. So it's much more enjoyable, and I love playing it. But I can't play it as much as I want to, because then I wouldn't get anything else done. And even if you're full-time, obviously I work full-time with an inverted comma real job, but not insulting anybody who does YouTube or Twitch full-time. A real-world job, I guess we'd call it. But even then, you tend to be funneled into a certain game or a fairly narrow genre, and you've got to be very lucky or very skilled in order to avoid that. Even someone like, say, Jack Frags, who makes great content, it's always tends to be about first-person or third-person shooters. It's not like he goes off and plays Pokemon or something like that, but that might be his favourite game. So as a YouTuber, you tend to, you need to have regular uploads. And it tends to be in a certain genre or game. As a streamer, it tends to be in a certain genre or game, and you need to have a schedule with a timetable. And obviously, all of this, those regular uploads or that schedule and timetable, they eat into your leisure gaming time. In fact, your leisure gaming time can completely disappear. So let me give you an example. So, for example, with DayZ, love playing DayZ. Top 5 games of all time for me. Got thousands of hours in the game, but if I were to play DayZ now on stream, you would be, well, maybe you wouldn't be, but I'd be really rusty at it. I'd be rubbish. PvP, terrible, because most of my time I'm making videos about DayZ and answering questions about DayZ, and not just playing it for fun and having all those experiences. PUBG, another example. Love playing PUBG. Oh, one of my top 3 games of all time. Battle Royale. The one of the OG Battle Royales, absolutely fantastic. Love the atmosphere, love everything about PUBG. Well, love lots of things about PUBG, but I can't play it too much because each game takes half an hour and it eats into my time. Battlefield 1, again, top 3 game of all time. My favourite multiplayer respawn shooter. Still plenty of people playing it on PC, and you can attach a gamepad and play it. I don't play it at all really, because I just don't have time. Different games that come in that I enjoy, for example, like Atomfall and Sniper Elite. You'll see the games on the channel. Again, I can play through them, but I have to rush quite a lot because I'm very aware that I need to get back to Armour Forge, get back to DayZ, get back to the games where they help to grow my channel, and they're the kind of subjects that my viewers like to watch, and I like to make as well. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm working down a mine or as a bin man or something like that. So with Warzone at the moment, gosh, I would play this constantly. I really would, because it's such a good game. And I've just come off a game where it kind of ended on a bit of a sour note, because I I was on a roof and a guy was below me, and I went to shoot him and missed, and he turned around and just lasered me in a second. Sometimes there's a big problem with with multiplayer games online anyway, isn't there? The difference between the time to die and time to kill seems to be you die really, really fast, but it takes you ages to kill other people. That's to do with lag and ping and things like that. But no quarter is given in Warzone, especially in solos, and I died. I was on a roof though, and he's down below. I got my loadout back. I won my gulag, came back. It was in one of the smaller circles. So I thought, well, I've really got to land on my dead body to get my gear back, which I did. And lo and behold, the guy was camping it from quite a distance away with a sniper rifle and took me out again. You know, and that happens a lot in Warzone. You know, there's no easy lobbies. Well, I haven't come across any easy lobbies. And getting into a top 10 situation in solos is quite difficult. And then, you know, getting top 5 even more difficult. So you need to play it an awful lot. Now you might say, well, just make content about Warzone if that's what you want to play at the moment. But certain games aren't as content rich as others. So I could play DayZ a lot and get quite a lot of content about it, asking questions, you know that I need to learn myself and making videos about it. But with Warzone, it's been around a long time. Lots of questions have been answered, and the main videos I tend to make about Warzone and PUBG, sort of Battle Royales, is when you win a game, or you do particularly well, you get lots of kills. I can make a video, you know, how to get lots of kills in Warzone, or how to win solo Warzone as an old codger. But I could play Warzone all day today, on my day off, and not get a win. I would enjoy myself because I'm playing video games. You know, I love playing video games, but I wouldn't get a win, so I wouldn't get any content out of it. And at the end of the day, I'll be a bit like, oh, you know, I could have really made a couple of videos about DayZ or Armour of Forges today. You know, I might not like playing them as much as Warzone at the moment, but I'd be like, oh, that's a bit of. I haven't got closer to my long-term goal of being able to do YouTube, you know, full time, which is what we really want to do. So I guess, you know, that's the way I deal with this content creator's dilemma. I'll set myself a limit. So, for example, today I've said, right, I want to play Warzone. I'm not going to deny myself playing video games when I've got some spare time to do it. But I'll limit myself to 3 games, and I'll play those games, and I will enjoy them, and I'll record them. And if I get some content, great. But I'm playing them for fun. And then I'm going to, you know, go and do some exercise, have something to eat, and then I'm going to work on videos from my to-do list, which is probably going to be some Armour of Forges stuff today, I would imagine. And the other problem you often run into as well, actually, when you're playing games like Warzone or PUBG, or multiplayer shooters, competitive shooters, and I guess this applies to DayZ as well, is you've got to play them a lot to get good at them. You know, especially with shooters, you know, you need to get sharp, and unless you're playing them a lot, your level of sharpness isn't good enough to be competitive, and isn't good enough so you can have a really good time in them. PUBG's really, I say, bad for that. It's a feature of PUBG. Unless you play PUBG an awful lot because of the way that the recoil systems work, I mean, the fact that there's no aim assist on console, you've got to get used to that. And Warzone's the same. You know, if you want to be competitive against PC players and you're playing on a gamepad on an Xbox, you know, they're playing on a PC with 180-degree field of view, a 240 hertz monitor. You need to be sharp. You need to be getting those bullets in first. And if you're playing them a lot, you don't. So, you know, one of the things that is said is, you know, they say, you know, if you make your passion your job, you know, you'll never have to work another day in your life. And I really believe that. And don't get me wrong, you know, I enjoy my job that I do. I have a great time at work, but I wouldn't mind doing this full time. But there are these compromises you have to make, and this, you know, often means you can't spend half as much time in the games you like to play or playing in the way you like to play, and you'd have to give up others completely. So there we go. So if you're thinking about becoming a content creator, this is something that will happen, definitely, 100%. And if you're having these thoughts yourself as a content creator and thinking, oh, God, yeah, like me, oh, God, I really wouldn't mind playing Warzone all day, think about that long-term goal that you have of becoming full-time on YouTube, or maybe there's something more practical, thinking, right, say if you're at 1,000 subs, right, I want to get to 10,000 subs, and the way that I will do that is by making content that's useful and entertaining to my watchers and my subscribers, and that isn't always me spending all day playing Warzone. So for me, it's like, right, my goal at the moment is to get to 100,000 subs. I think we're at about 74,000, something like that at the moment. So I want to get to 100,000 subs, and the way I do that, my channel is all about tutorials and guides. So, you know, I could play Warzone all day, but if I do play Warzone all day, I haven't taken a step forward towards that goal. Whereas I can play it for a bit, enjoy how I've played it. If I get some content out of it, great, and I'll make a video about it. But if not, you know, I'm going to move on and I'm going to make some videos that will get me toward that goal. So, there you go. What do you think about this? Are you becoming a content creator yourself? Are you thinking about doing it? Do you have other ways of dealing with this compromise? Put your questions and comments down below. If you found the video useful, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. And I will, of course, see you again soon.